Good to see. Pretty much a full complement. Good to see you. Doc, I know you've been burning all kind of candles, and we're just happy to have you here, and thank you
Burning them.
again. I'm telling you, the wax is dripping the right way, though. That's how it matters. Okay, so Miss Yolanda, if you'll call us to order, please.
We are ready. Mayor Cantrell,
Present.
Councilmember King, Director Barnes,
Here.
Director Duplessis,
Present.
Director Kennedy,
Here.
Director Cole,
Present.
Director Pacho, Director Sloss, Director Howard,
Here.
Director Scholas,
Here.
Director Antrim.
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Okay, thank you all again so much. Before getting started, I always like to give some brief opening remarks, but I did want to acknowledge just how the utility is continuing to stay focused on our critical infrastructure and improving it, and already, of course, adapting to climate that has already changed. The city of New Orleans continues to be on the national and global platform based on the work that we are doing. And just make no mistake about it, it is unprecedented. We're doing it, we're learning as we do it, we're growing as we do it. And so just as today and the launch of the customer account platform, very excited about that. And we'll hear more from our team on that. But it will give us, as we're implementing smart meters, the customers will have accurate reads, but not only that, with this new technology, being able to see their water use in real time. That's what that data will provide. Again, education helps us all. And so that end user, that customer user, it builds trust and transparency, and that's what we're committed to doing. And even as we're doing it, we're learning, and that's a part of it. Also, I just wanted to acknowledge, and I know we will today, our hardworking city employees, particularly our team that has been doing an incredible job of closing a record number of 26,000 orders, work orders in the city. Again, unprecedented. You can't make it up, but we definitely cannot overlook the people who are on the front line doing the job. And for a utility that's 200 years old, we should all really be grateful because, again, we're making improvements, but these have been people who have been standing in the gap and continue to serve. I did want to acknowledge their names and hopefully their presence. Ashraf, I know, and listen, Ashraf, is he present? And listen, don't get me straight. Now, I've also tried to get myself straight prior to coming, but Dafi, get me straight on that. Sheena Walker, Dan Eaglin, Ernest Smith, James Gatlin, Derek Moore, Mark McCasey, get me straight. Okay, Brian Scott, Byron Scott, thank you. Charles Millay, that's it. Tyrone Hall, Richard Stanwood, and Charles Sarwin. And to get me straight again, but one thing you don't have to get me straight on is what you do for this city and for this utility and for the residents of our city. You have delivered, and I want you to continue to stand tall. Do not listen to disinformation, misinformation relative to what you provide. So I want you to take your lead from me, your mayor, right? We stand in the midst of any adversity, but we get the job done. Thank you for getting it done for us. Give them a hand. Yep. Thank you. This is what it's all about. We're only as effective because of you all. And you represent thousands of more employees, and we appreciate you. All right. 60,000 smart meters installed. We are well on our way. So with that, I'm going to turn it over, and I believe I go to
Approval of minutes.
okay.
Dated October 23rd, 2024.
Very good. So I need a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting, October 23.
So moved.
It's moved by Director Scholas, seconded by Director Barnes. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed, any abstentions? Hearing none, we have officially adopted the minutes. And now we will turn to Director Howard. We're going to start with our Finance Committee report. And so, Director, thank you so much.
The Finance Administration Committee met on Wednesday, November 13th. The meeting started at 9 a.m. Present were Directors Sloss, Pacho, Barnes, and Kennedy. Absence was yours truly. The cash flow, Gray Lewis, the Chief Financial Officer, gave the financial overview. And that was followed by a report from Susanna Kirby on the interactions with HGI relating to the Customer Invoice Dispute Program. There were a number of action items. One was a resolution to approve Cooperative Endeavor Agreement 676, Act 776 appropriation to fund arbiters for billing disputes. That was carried. Then there were contract award renewals reviewed and approved. Contract amendments also reviewed and approved. Change orders approved by ratification. And there was final acceptance of a number of items, all of which will be before you today. There were no information, the information items were received. There was no public comment, and the meeting adjourned at 9:53.
Thank you so much, Director Howard.
You're welcome.
So we need a motion to approve the Finance and Administrative Report.
So moved.
It's been moved by Director Barnes, seconded by Director Cole. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? So we've officially adopted the Finance and Administrative Committee report, and we're moved now to our Executive Director, Mr. Ghassan Corbin.
Good morning, Mayor. Good morning, directors.
Good morning.
Awesome to be here this morning, and thank you for helping us celebrate our networks folks. These are the men and women who are out of, on each and every day, 24/7. When we're home enjoying watching a game, they're out there working, responding to any of the emergencies and what have you. So
Drinking water, running bath water, flushing toilets,
we
washing dishes, that's true.
plan and fund all we want, but the execution is really it's what matters, and they are the ones doing it. So can't be more thankful to them. Hopefully, we'll celebrate more of our men and women in the near future. I have a quick update for you this morning. We're going to start with the power complex. As you can see from the top picture, it's shaping up very nicely. The three major pieces of equipment are on site. The frequency changers up on the top, and then the turbine 7. So it's very, very exciting. Obviously, the installation and the connections and all that is happening. One key component is you've heard us talk about the installation of the cables has begun, and obviously that's a critical connection piece that is happening as we speak. The utility rack obviously was completed last year and early this year, and that is moving very, very forward. So it's exciting. We had hosted folks from the DNR and Department of Energy as well, just to take a look at our project and trying to cement our future grant and funding that's coming from them. They like what they saw, and obviously now the next piece is, again, shaping what that all the pieces would look like to move that project and the funding forward. Lead service line replacement program, it's going to become a very, very prominent project. Obviously we started with the inventory that we've launched in October, consistent with the EPA rules, the lead and copper rules, and now people have access to information pertaining to the service line that serves their property. It's been very well received. Again, informing the customer is very, very key. And with that comes the responsibility of informing them what mitigation they can take on their own to protect their families and their household. In the meantime, we're going to launch a major program beginning of next year, but it will be preceded with a smaller construction project focusing on schools and daycares. It will be a very teaching, informing contract, allowing us to know what technology contractors will utilize, all the challenges associated with the installation and what have you. So it's going to be very informative, and hopefully it will help us build a better program moving forward with the larger scale program. So very, very exciting. The $86 million has been secured, and we're seeking, obviously, the next tranche was $66 million. The application started, and obviously there's a lot of work to be done, but we're confident we'll get some of that money, if not all of it. Smart meters, like the mayor said, 64,000 in the ground. My smart meter team assures me that we are tracking well to finish 50%. That's 70,000 or more by the end of the year, and I trust them because everything they've promised they have delivered so far. So it's very exciting, and again, the city is getting bluer and bluer, depicting new installations every day. One issue that's really becoming a real concern for us is the delinquency associated with smart bills. And just like you are, we are very concerned, and we're making it a priority in terms of addressing that head on, because one thing we can't allow is have that delinquency grow and becoming another issue for us.
Right.
Kind of wiping the technology and the benefit of the smart meter. So we cannot allow that. So we're doing everything we can to, again, mitigate it and diminish it the best we can. So again, exciting, and we're moving forward. So any feedback from you or people that you hear would be very helpful in terms of any issues, but we have not heard any concerns pertaining to smart meters.
Do we have any theories about why people are delinquent on their smart meter bills? Or is it significantly higher than the delinquency we experience from
That has
non-smart meter
not
bills?
been, that's a great question. We anticipated a slight increase just because of the accuracy. We messaged on that, and to my knowledge, we have not heard that complaint that, oh, it's higher. I think it's consistent with past behavior.
Yeah.
A big portion of those accounts carry disputed or larger delinquencies, and we're trying to encourage customers to delineate between the past, and we're encouraging them to dispute, but then stay current with the new accurate smart bill, because it compounds and it makes things much worse.
I see. So they have a delinquency and they're not paying their current bill, even though.
Right, but not
Some
entirely. There's a
instances.
new set that is developing that is not carrying all that. So
We had a discussion yesterday in committee meeting about this that went quite a long ways, and there were two sets of things that stood out to me. One was that there were people that had a past due balance from old that they didn't make right, and so it comes forward. And it's not that they are incurring new debts, they're some carrying their old debts. Then there's other people that didn't pay the old bills and they're not paying the new bills. And so it's not that it wasn't a question of accuracy,
Right.
because if it was an accuracy thing, they'd pay the current bill and then still dispute the old ones. So that was about 6 million that was sitting out there that really we had a very vigorous discussion about yesterday.
Jen?
And following up on what Maurice said, this was the Operations Committee meeting, and we've asked for the development of a plan that will address how we're going to actually attack this problem, because we can't continue this way.
Right, well, and this is where the real responsibility falls on all of us, including the community, all elected leadership, the media as well. When you attack the utility and use disinformation even, it only makes it worse, meaning it doesn't build trust. And so I think if we just focus on it holistically at every stage, but understanding that we're moving in the right direction, and we really need all partners to do the same.
Absolutely, very well said.
What we talked about yesterday was, and Ghassan agreed that we were going to, there would be a plan presented to the committee and board in January for how to get this right, on the right track now that the bills are
Exactly.
disputable.
Right, and getting some of the customers who are willing to even share their positive experiences that we are receiving. And here, just this week, even hearing from a resident talking about like, wow, believing in the utility. So I know that we're turning the corner, but this is where it's the most critical time to get us to the end.
One issue that's always existed, and we know it existed, and it's becoming more and more evident, is the private plumbing is as old as our own plumbing, right? And there exists a lot of leaks on private property, and these smart builds are exposing that in real time, and there's a significant percentage of those that we know that they have constant registration, leaks, running toilets, what have you. Half are responding favorably to taking actions and reducing their consumption, and that's what we want to see at 100%, but 50% are ignoring it. And I think that exasperates the problem because the bill is high, and in their mind, it's just, that doesn't make sense, but it makes sense because there's water that's being lost, not used, but being lost.
And then the next phase will come with lead line replacement.
Right, right.
So again, we have to, how we move is going to be very important.
Absolutely. And as we talked earlier about the portal has been launched. We've had, I would say, it's a slow start, so to speak, in terms of the registration or the moving from the old to the new. We have to continue to emphasize that action is required on behalf of our customers. It's not an automatic switch. You have to actively go online, and it's typically about a 5-minute experience. We'll continue to tweak the process based on feedback, make it more intuitive and easier, user-friendly. So we're hoping that obviously number grows.
What's the number of people now who have online accounts with the old system?
It's about maybe 60,000 or so.
I just wanted to get an idea where
Yeah,
the
so we're at
6,000.
about 10%, so we're,
Did I hear correctly earlier, through this portal, I can see my meter in real time?
You can.
you access your,
All I have to do is turn everything off and see if it's still running?
and you can set parameters to
Notify.
proactively notify you that you're approaching your limits, what have you, so, yeah.
Powerful. Okay.
So the more people use it, the more sophisticated it will become and more useful it will be.
Very powerful.
So,
And Director Howard?
I played around with it yesterday and checked the information in my accounts. It's really quite amazing and enlightening and really worth taking the time to do to see what's happening with your water.
yeah, it's exciting.
And the other thing I really like about this interface is that the customer service people have the ability to look at the same screen that you're looking at.
Right.
So it's not like, while I'm looking at one thing, you're looking at something else. You like, there's a mirror screen. There's also a way that they can go in there and they can actually sort of remote control your process. It just makes it so that everybody's looking at the same information and everybody's looking at the same thing in real time. That's really
That's a
nice.
big deal. It really is.
Loved logging in on my phone, and it said, "You want to go ahead and download the app?" Absolutely. I don't think there's a feature that's missing. I think this is really impressive, and it just continues to wow me every time I log in. So
Wonderful.
And I tried to download, but I couldn't remember my password.
yeah.
It's a common occurrence.
With me, I know
I only
it is.
use like 3, so.
Oh my God.
Somebody ever found those?
Cycled them.
They got it.
Update on billing-related new changes. Obviously, you're all aware that we have an outside party appointed by the city council that managing disputed accounts. So currently, any disputed account goes to HTI. They are processing a significant number of those. It's a mixed bag, to be honest with you. They are solving a lot of issues in terms of delinquencies and what have you. We're not sure the mechanics and what they're using as criteria. We're concerned that while solving one issue today, they're not really addressing the core cause of what the dispute is about and what's causing, the conflict. And typically, again, I can't overemphasize the leaking on private property is a major issue. And we have to incentivize that by saying only if you fix the leak, you can get a credit. We feel that the credits are maybe given regardless of action, so that that becomes a continuous issue.
Well, the complexities are real.
Yes.
And when you start focusing on the problem solve and overestimating the complexities, and you get to the meat of it all, sometimes what I do see, I would say, more credits are given
Yeah.
based on that. But at the end of the day, we want to get to the end, get everyone a true up, and so we can start.
Absolutely.
Start
So
fresh.
we continue to meet with the HGI team to better understand their processes, hopefully to get it to a better place where it's more systematic and more long-term solution.
But they're doing the job, so.
The fixed rate bill initiatives began, and so again, a fairly low percentage of participation that either speaks to the fact that maybe we were addressing a smaller portion of, we send it to about 70,000 who do not have smart meters yet. And I don't know how to analyze it except for people are not seeing the need for it, and maybe it will grow. But we want people to enroll with this because it makes everybody's job easier.
Sure.
It's a fixed bill. It's not subject to a true up at the end. And then once you get your smart meter, we move to a smart bill, and then it's all good. So we continue to promote this, and hopefully that number grows. The arbiters, as you know, the state is funding this initiative, the CAA, for transferring the money from the Treasury to us so we can move it forward to LLA and the OIG, who is actually administering that program by selecting the arbiters. There'll be 2 for each district, so that is developing as we speak, and we suspect it will not really be stood up till maybe January. In the meantime, anybody who wants to dispute on the customer side, we're basically allowing them to the grace period until we have an arbitration process. We ourselves have our own cases that we will dispute on behalf of the utility, and it's about 40 or so. And we're being very selective, and we're hoping that becomes an experience for the arbiters to learn our reasoning and criteria why we write off a balance or versus not. So hopefully it's going to get better, and obviously in beginning of January we will have no bills sent based on an estimate. It will be either actual or just a bill that has the ready to serve number on it. The drainage consolidation, obviously major initiative that's moving forward. January 1st will be the formal day where we would take the official responsibility. Discussions continue regarding the funding and the level of that. Everybody knows that, we can only do with what we get. So far, we have $5 million that's been identified from it's not really new money, but it's redirected money. It's the IMF money that we would typically get anyway, but we are going to designate it to the minor drainage system, as coupled with the red light camera revenues. We still don't have an exact number, so those two numbers paired will dictate how much we do. I know Steve and his staff is prepared to hit the ground running on day one. It's going to be likely a contract, because we're going to outsource cleaning as early as January. So the minute we know how much money we have and it's committed, we can proceed. So again, it's going to be a major undertaking. There's a lot of concerns on your behalf as well as ours that we need to have a much more sustainable funding mechanism to allow us to do a better job at this, as well as the major drainage system. So the stormwater fee conversation has to continue, has to become more prominent in 25 with the imminency of the one of the key millages in 26 expiring. So we have $20 million that is gonna go away unless it's renewed in '26, so,
2026, so that speaks to, we don't have any time,
right.
you know, to waste, and it's going to be critical in 2025.
That's
gonna
a
be-
property tax renewal?
I'm sorry?
That's a property tax renewal?
Yes, there's
Yeah,
3
that's our
villages we have,
transition.
one of them is expiring in '26, so obviously, it's a responsibility of everybody involved to identify a new source to substitute for that, obviously, and, you know, I'm a proponent of stormwater fee because it will bring a population that currently do not contribute to the service that they have been receiving for years.
Over 40%.
Yeah.
Real quick, are we gonna be transitioning reports of challenges with the drainage system to 5-2 water rather than from 311?
Initially, it would be 311,
And they'll
will
just
continue
forward those to us? Okay.
for a transition period and until we're ready. Our asset management and our work order system just can't handle the volume. So recognizing that is key. We don't want that to be a failure, obviously, so we'll rely on a system that works.
And we don't want people to fall through the cracks as we move through that transition.
Yeah, we've done so much work over the last few years to educate our customers about, you call 311 for drainage, you call 5-2 water for everything else, so if we switched it suddenly, there would
That's
need to
right.
certainly be some messaging.
Absolutely. I mean, eventually, when we're ready, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We're obviously assessing the current, you know, calls and backlog that exists, and obviously, our first, you know, priority is to diminish that backlog the best we can, so we can start on a more manageable cyclical program in the future. And, you know, this finishing with, you know, this is an initiative we started in '23. We focused on getting rid of the backlog. We put money in. Again, the team that you saw this morning and celebrated, they owned this initiative and they helped Steve and I get to the finish line. You know, that's a huge success story, and, you know, 360 locations are just a reflection of what we're creating on regular basis. So just an awesome place to be, and a reflection of what is yet to come with other priorities and other work orders.
That's right.
So that concludes my presentation. I'm hoping to address any other questions.
Well, very good. Any questions, any comments from the board? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Yolanda?
Yes, we have 14 corresponding resolutions for approval this morning. That's Resolution 161, 2024, Resolution 136, 2024, Resolution 137, 2024, Resolution 138, 2024, Resolution 106, 2024, Resolution 139, 2024, Resolution 141, 2024, Resolution 148, 2024, Resolution 150, 2024, Resolution 151, 2024, Resolution 152, 2024, Resolution 140, 2024, Resolution 147, 2024, and Resolution 149, 2024.
Are there any supporting comments, Superintendent?
No, unless there are any questions.
Okay, very good. So we need a motion to approve, as presented, the resolutions.
So move.
It's been moved by Director Kennedy. We need
Second.
seconded by Director Barnes. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, we've officially adopted the resolutions. Ms. Yolanda?
We have information items for your perusal, no public comments, Mayor, and so now we are ready for adjournment.
Okay, no executive session?
No executive session. December will be ready with December, just letting everyone.
All right now, we moving in the right direction. All right. Mr. Lazar, you will be happy. May he continue to rest
You
in
know
peace.
what?
That's my guy.
I miss him.
I do
Oh,
too. That's
gosh,
my
I miss
guy.
him.
I do.
It was like we're not having a meeting if he wasn't sitting right there.
I'm telling you, but listen, we go from school board to, everything. So, motion to adjourn, we need one.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Seconded, all in favor? All right, adjournment.
Morning to do something.